I want to do some quick show and tell here. One of our fans, Amy, who's sent us a million things. She's on Discord with us, and she's sent a million things to Boxmac in the past. She put out an eBay tickler that said, if you see Pfaltzgraff plates with a little Christmas tree pattern, John had mentioned in the past that it's a very rare Pfaltzgraff plate. It's the only one he doesn't have.
I don't have a single one.
Do you feel inadequate?
I do. I wish I could. I actually was going to try to buy one for the show. I couldn't even source one piece of it. If anybody out there in the world happens to find a stash of dishes that look like this but have Christmas trees on them, you let me know.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, instead of sending one more flavor packet.
Yeah. Send me computers from the 1980s and Pfaltzgraff Christmas dishes. So thank you.
Covered in flavor packets.
Junt, star of Boxmac, star of Junt's Cart. It's got this strange fascination, this strange, like, you know, we here collect ever drives and game consoles. John enjoys technology too, but he seems to enjoy plates and mugs more. And so not only does like everything in his pantry, everything in his dish cabinets are this Pfaltzgraff, this yellow Pfaltzgraff 80s pattern. But if you go over to his piano room, there's another like whole cupboard covered in dust that's covered in these plates. Like they're everywhere, these fucking plates and bowls and everything. He puts everything, and he's always looking for an excuse to pull them out. So we made a funny like horror movie based on them. We went off and bought some disposable Pfaltzgraff, very much like the AVGN, where you buy like a dummy cart so you can destroy the cart. We had to do that, but with Pfaltzgraff. It's much more mature.
We did not shit on it though.
Bombs away, Pfaltzgraff. So he lamented not having this Christmas one. And it just seemed like it was like the holy grail of Pfaltzgraff. Well, after like, I don't know, a year, 2 years of her putting out, like a, hey, alert me if these words show up in an eBay listing, they finally popped up and around Christmas time. And so she was like, John, you got to buy it. And I was like, yeah, she's right. You got to buy it, John. And he casually shows up to the Discord to be like, no, too spendy. That's too much. and he won't buy it. And because he's like, well, you know, and by the way, they were not a buy it now situation. You did have to bid on them. So it would have required a little bit of engagement on his part. And as the minutes ticked down to the final minutes and there were no bidders, I was like, I think I'm going to embezzle our Patreon money and buy these fucking things. I think I'm doing it. And,
you gotta do it.
So they're my Pfaltzgraff now. And I've been eating on these and I've been enjoying these. The white whale. So we got the 10-inch plate. Got the 10-inch plate.
Property of Red Cow Entertainment, LLC.
Yeah.
In John's defense, I don't know if you want to disclose how much you paid. It was a lot.
$350.
That's a lot.
For how many things?
You get four. What you're going to get for $350 is 4 of the 10-inch Pfaltzgraff plates, 4 of the 6-inch plates. And look at that. You could put Rice Krispie treats on those. You could put snacks on them, Oreo cookies on those. And then also, dong. I'm actually, he's taught me well to be afraid of the crazing. He calls it crazing, or I guess he doesn't call it. That's what it's called, industry term, where there's like small imperceptible cracks that you need a magnifying glass and like heavy light to notice.
There's a problem with this type of dishware, Frankie, in which it develops cracks in the glaze. I spent the most time with the big bowl, which we crushed, and looking at this one piece now, it looks like it is after the glaze cracking incidents were resolved. And it means that extra large bowl we crushed would have been even more rare. I've got my high-powered inspection light here. If I shine a really bright light on it, you can see all of those crack lines. And that is the glaze cracking. And that means that water and food can seep into those cracks.
Yeah, these cute little mugs. You can put whole milk in and drink.
Gotta be whole milk.
The whole milk stays. So I have them. I use them. You know, we had shot the Christmas special by the time I got these. So I guess probably I'll serve whatever his dessert is for the dessert contest, the annual dessert contest, and make him a little jealous. Make him a little.
You have to incorporate every single dish somehow.
Yeah, all 3. That's a good idea. So like a main dessert, a side, and some kind of a drink. Yeah, I like that. All right, so just in other show and tell news, you know Mark from Smash Brothers Gaming?
Right, yeah.
He's the gift that keeps on giving. He just sends you free shit. It's just it's great to be us. I mean,
Yeah,
this
he
guy
was trying to say he had like a bunch of auctions for a Miss Pac-Man Galaga machine. He's like, EJ, if I win one of these 8, I might give you one. I'm like, look, okay.
I'll accept your offer, not even reluctantly. I mean, this guy he sent us some cool tchotchkes, ROM hacks, that kind of. But the guy also sent us like a $100 mod kit for a Dreamcast. We both have modded Dreamcasts because of Mark. You know, and I actually used that. So he sends me,
And yeah,
there was a period of, I don't know, maybe a month or so around Halloween time where he got really into Game Boy Video, whatever you call those. So he sent me the Ring on Game Boy Advance. He made this. So I was like, well, what is it? How much does it play? I took out my SP, and it'll give you, you know how the Ring is about like a haunted VHS tape.
haunted Game Boy cart.
Well, it just plays that haunted tape on loop. And I got I never actually play on my SP ever because I've got the emulators and they are probably better, frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, the backlight is nice here and everything, but I think the emulation backlights on the Ambernicks are nicer. But this is pretty. This is, when people say this is great, they ain't kidding. This is great.
It's peak design.
This
right
needs.
there.
It's
this
so
needs
good
an
I have
overdrive.
the phone equivalent.
Is that you actually use a flip phone in your personal life?
Yeah, I do. It's awesome. Yeah. Well, I
Do you
mean,
have
it's
a
like
smart-
it's like a smartphone, but yeah.
Oh, it's got
It's-
a bendy screen.
Yeah, it's the newfangled like smartphones that are also flip phones.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you remember all the kids in high school? Well, you didn't go to high school at the same time we did. There was, of course, the Nokia phones, which were, ancient. But then after that, everybody had a Razor. Do you remember the Razor, EJ?
Yeah. My friend had a Razor and bragged about it. And I didn't even have a cell phone at that point, so.
My high school cell phone was a Verizon Juke. Are you familiar with this thing?
No.
No, it was an MP3 player first and foremost, and it swiveled. It went like this. Like the keypad was under, like the screen was on top, and then it swiveled out, and then the keypad was underneath.
I'm doing it.
And then when I graduated, as a graduation present, I got my first smartphone.
Oh yeah. Well, that phone kind of looks like like an iPod design of that era.
Yeah.
I remember I had like an iPod Shuffle, where it was just one button. It was basically inoperable. And they thought that was cool design. They're like, here at Apple, who needs more than one button? In fact, how about no buttons?
Oh man.
How about we
That's
make
actually what
it
they did.
almost useless?
We just do things a little better around here. Make them useless.
Red Cow Arcade.